Have you ever wondered why some cars just stick in your memory while others fade away? It's not just about horsepower or luxury badges. It's about how a car makes you feel. The thrill of a new engine sound, the confidence of a sharp corner, the quiet comfort of a futuristic interior. That feeling is what drives every true car lover. And in the model years 2025 and 2026, automakers have created machines that speak to your heart and your instincts. If you stay with this video till the end, you'll discover not just which cars made the top 10 list, but why these specific models are setting the tone for the next generation of driving. Whether you're into raw power, refined tech, or bold new ideas, there's a reward waiting for you in the final car that will challenge how you think about the future. Let's take a step back for a second. The auto industry is not what it used to be. Over the last few years, we've seen more change than in entire decades past. Electric drivetrains, AI-powered dashboards, and aggressive new designs aren't just concepts anymore. They're the new standard. Every major brand, from Mercedes to Toyota, is evolving, and not slowly. The pressure is on to build cars that do more than move. They must connect, inspire, and belong to a new kind of driver. Psychologically, car enthusiasts crave three core emotions: control, identity, and excitement. Control comes from how a car responds to your inputs. Identity is shaped by the car's design, badge, and heritage. And excitement? That's what keeps your foot near the throttle even when you don't have to be somewhere. The best cars of 2025 to 2026 are tuned to hit all three of these feelings at once. These aren't just numbers on a spec sheet. These are experiences. Think about the kind of connection some people have with their car. It's not just metal and fuel, it's memory. First drives, road trips, moments of peace on long highways. That emotional attachment is exactly why the cars coming out now aren't just engineering exercises. They're built to stir something inside you. Take a look at what's happening across the industry. Mercedes is blending tradition with futuristic intelligence. BMW is fine-tuning the driving experience to make even EVs feel alive. Ford is reviving muscle with a digital edge. Toyota is injecting electric DNA into trusted nameplates. Mazda is returning to refined simplicity with hybrid and plug-in options that balance power and grace. These aren't random moves. They're calculated shifts aimed at winning the hearts of a generation that still cares deeply about the joy of driving, but also wants tech, sustainability, and fresh style. And let's not forget the market itself. Consumer behavior is shifting fast. More people are researching cars online before ever stepping into a dealership. They're comparing not just speed or fuel efficiency, but also how a car aligns with their lifestyle. That's why you're seeing so many brands redesigning their cars from the ground up, not just updating headlights and bumpers. It's a battle for relevance and connection. Behind the curtain, brands are investing billions into human-centered design. Sounds like a buzzword, but it's not. It means making cars that feel intuitive, emotionally engaging, and deeply personal. From how the steering feels to how the dashboard responds to your voice, everything is designed to reduce friction and increase emotional satisfaction. Because here's the truth: the more connected you feel to a machine, the more likely you are to love it, keep it, and tell others about it. And that's the holy grail of car culture: bonding with your machine. That's what makes 2025 and 2026 so important. These aren't just new models. They are a preview of how manufacturers are responding to this shift in car lover psychology. They're designing not just for performance, but for meaning. So how did we choose the top 10 cars? We looked at four core factors: performance, technology, design, and emotional appeal. Performance still matters: 0 to 60 times, torque curves, handling. But that's no longer enough. Today, performance is also about efficiency, responsiveness, and how a car adapts to you, not just how fast it is. Technology matters too, not in a gimmicky way, but how it enhances the drive. Driver assistance that doesn't get in the way, sound systems that make a cabin feel like a concert hall, voice control that actually works, heads-up displays that keep your eyes on the road. Design has taken a bold turn in this new era. Cars are no longer subtle, they're expressive. Muscular grills, clean lead signatures, sculpted panels that signal confidence. A car's design now tells a story about who you are before you even start the engine. And finally, emotional appeal. This is the most underrated, yet most powerful trait. When a car looks at you just right, when it fits you like a glove, when you miss it even after a short drive, that's emotional appeal. That's the bond between driver and machine. And that's what separates a good car from a great one. The 10 cars we've selected tap into all of this. They don't just look impressive on paper, they feel right on the road. They represent what's next, but also what's real. Whether it's a reimagined icon or a bold new EV, each one brings something fresh, authentic, and unforgettable. Stick around as we break them down, one by one. By the end, you'll know exactly which cars are leading the pack in 2025 to 2026, and why they matter more than ever. And if you think the best ones are all from the big names, just wait until you see what's number 10. Every car enthusiast knows that true greatness isn't built overnight. It's forged through decades of engineering, design, and performance. And in 2025 and 2026, some of the world's most respected brands are proving that history doesn't hold them back, it pushes them forward. The familiar names we grew up admiring, Mercedes, BMW, Ford, Toyota, and Mazda, are not only surviving the transition to modern driving, they're mastering it. Take the 2025 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. For generations, the E-Class has defined mid-size luxury. But now, it's more than just comfortable and classy, it's intelligent. Mercedes has transformed it into a hybrid-first platform, with technology at the core. The new MBUX superscreen stretches across the dashboard, reacting to voice, touch, and even your gaze. Ambient lighting syncs with your music. The ride is quiet, precise, and incredibly smooth, thanks to adaptive air suspension and electric assist steering. But here's what really matters. Mercedes didn't lose its soul in the process. Underneath the tech, the car still feels composed, elegant, and confident. It's luxury redefined, not replaced. Then there's the BMW i5 M60, a model that challenges the belief that electric means less emotion. This is the Electric 5 Series, tuned by BMW's legendary M division. It pushes out over 590 horsepower, launching from 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. But it's not just about numbers. It's the sensation. The tight steering, instant torque, and precise weight distribution remind you why BMW still wears the ultimate driving machine badge with pride. Even though there's no engine rumble, the connection between car and driver feels raw, real, and responsive. It's electric with attitude. And that's what makes it thrilling. Ford has taken a bold route with the upcoming Mustang 2026. At a time when many performance cars are going silent, the Mustang doubles down on its heritage. The classic long hood, aggressive stance, and rear-wheel drive powertrain all return, but now with modern enhancements. A digital cockpit replaces analog dials, but it still looks muscle-bound. The optional V8 roars louder than ever, paired with a 6-speed manual for those who want to feel every gear change. But Ford isn't stuck in the past. It's moving with purpose. New hybrid versions are rumored, with electric assist to boost low-end torque without killing the vibe. This is nostalgia evolved. A muscle car that respects its fans while inviting new ones. Toyota, a brand known for reliability, is reshaping its image through bold moves like the Crown Sport 2025. It's not a sedan, not a crossover, but a confident blend of both. The design is striking, sharp lines, wide stance, and a road presence that feels upscale. Underneath, the hybrid powertrain delivers smooth acceleration and great mileage, with AWD for added grip. Inside, it's surprisingly premium. Digital displays, advanced safety features, and a cockpit that feels focused. What's interesting is how Toyota has shifted from safe and predictable to expressive and engaging. This car proves that practicality can still stir emotion. Mazda, often called the driver's brand, is leaning into that identity with the CX-70 PEV 2025. It's elegant, powerful, and clean. The plug-in hybrid powertrain offers both electric commuting and long-range flexibility. But it's the driving feel that sets it apart. Balanced chassis, responsive throttle, and that signature Mazda steering feedback. It's all still here. The interior uses real materials, soft leather, metal switches, and tasteful lighting. It's not flashy, but deeply satisfying. Mazda understands a key truth. Car lovers don't always want the loudest machine. Sometimes, we want the one that feels right in every small detail. That's what the CX-70 delivers. What connects all these models is a deep respect for what made them iconic in the first place, but also a refusal to stay stuck in the past. These cars are born from legacy, but not limited by it. They evolve with intention. Psychologically, this blend of familiarity and innovation is powerful. Humans are drawn to what they know, but we also crave novelty. That's why redesigned classics perform so well in today's market. They trigger trust and nostalgia, yet also spark curiosity and excitement. Look at the emotional layers these cars offer. For an older enthusiast, the Mustang brings back memories of street races and open highways. For a younger driver, the i5 M60 offers high-tech thrills in a future-friendly package. These models speak to different parts of the same passion. That's why they resonate. Even in how they're marketed, the shift is clear. Brands are no longer just selling cars, they're selling stories. Mercedes sells the idea of calm intelligence. BMW pushes driving purity into the electric age. Ford taps into bold rebellion. Toyota blends comfort with personality. Mazda wraps simplicity in elegance. These narratives aren't accidental. They are built to match the emotional desires of their audiences. When you sit inside these cars, you're not just operating a vehicle, you're engaging with an experience. That's what top brands understand.
The modern car isn't just judged by specs, it's judged by how it feels at every touch point.
From the grip of the wheel to the way the cabin smells, to the first time you push the ignition, each step is carefully crafted to leave a lasting imprint. And that's why these 5 cars stand out in 2025 and 2026. They don't just meet expectations, they realign them. They tell the world that tradition can be a starting point, not a finish line. The road ahead is changing. But these legends are proving that when heritage meets innovation, something remarkable happens. These are the cars that keep the love for driving alive. And for anyone who grew up loving the roar of an engine, the rush of acceleration, and the quiet pride of owning something special, this era is just beginning. Not every car that leaves a mark follows the traditional path. Some models make their impact by doing the unexpected, breaking design rules, challenging performance norms, or redefining what a car even is. These aren't vehicles you simply drive, they're statements. Disruptors like these don't wait for permission, they create their own category. Car lovers naturally respect legacy brands, but there's also a deep psychological draw toward what's new. The unknown excites the mind. It's the same force that pulls us toward concept cars, spy shots, and future tech. We're wired to chase innovation, especially when it feels like it was made for us. That's exactly what these next 5 cars do. Start with the Hyundai Ioniq 7, expected in 2026. It's not just a full-size electric SUV, it's a declaration. Built on Hyundai's advanced eGMP platform, it offers serious range, ultra-fast charging, and a bold design language that doesn't borrow from the past. Instead of a traditional grille, it uses pixelated lights to signal its futuristic intent. Inside, it feels more like a lounge than a vehicle, wide open and tech-centered. Flat floors, reclining rear seats, sustainable materials. It's built for the modern family that values both comfort and cutting-edge tech. But it's the quiet confidence that sets it apart. Hyundai isn't copying anyone, they've built something original, and that earns respect. Now look at the Lucid Gravity, arriving in 2025. While many EVs focus on tech specs alone, Lucid adds elegance and emotion to the equation. The Gravity is a full-size electric luxury SUV with performance numbers that rival sports cars. But more than that, it's about presence. A panoramic glass roof floods the cabin with light. Minimalist interiors reduce clutter and focus your attention. The infotainment is clean, responsive, and integrated without distraction. Lucid understands that luxury today is not about excess, it's about experience. And that's exactly what the Gravity delivers. Space, silence, speed, and simplicity. It speaks to those who want to be ahead of the curve without showing off. Then there's the Volkswagen ID.7, a model that turns quiet innovation into a powerful strength. Sleek, aerodynamic, and deliberately understated, the ID.7 is VW's most advanced electric sedan yet. With a range above 400 miles, it competes with top-tier rivals on efficiency. But that's not its only edge. What makes it different is how thoughtfully it's built. Smart climate systems track where you sit and adjust airflow accordingly. The augmented reality head-up display keeps key info in your line of sight. It's subtle but effective. For drivers who want to move into the future without abandoning comfort and familiarity, the ID.7 offers a seamless bridge, and now one of the boldest designs yet, the Polestar 4. On paper, it's a sporty electric crossover coupe. But in reality, it's a bold rethinking of car design. The most controversial move? No rear window. Instead, a high-resolution camera sends live feed to a digital mirror inside. This allowed Polestar to extend the rear roofline, improving aerodynamics and aesthetics. But it's more than a design trick. It's a shift in mindset, prioritizing function and form over tradition. The cabin is focused and minimal, yet expressive. Recycled materials meet sculpted contours. Acceleration is sharp, steering direct, and the suspension balanced. The result? A car that feels futuristic without being cold. It dares to change what we expect, and that alone makes it unforgettable. Lastly, an upcoming model that's still under wraps but has already stirred the car community, the Subaru STI EV concept, projected for 2026. Subaru's WRX STI legacy has always meant turbocharged engines, all-wheel drive traction, and rally-bred energy. But now, the brand is exploring how to carry that spirit into the electric world. The STI EV won't just be fast, it will need to feel alive. Subaru is reportedly working on simulated gearbox sounds, tactile steering feedback, and torque vectoring that mimics the old-school rally style. For fans who've grown up loving Subaru's underdog attitude, this concept is more than a car. It's a promise, a message that electrification doesn't have to mean emotional disconnection. What unites these 5 cars isn't brand history, it's courage. Each one dares to challenge the norms, to build not what's expected, but what feels right for the next generation of drivers. Psychologically, disruptor cars appeal to a different desire than legacy models. While traditional brands feed the need for security and recognition, disruptors spark a craving for uniqueness and progress. Car lovers are often individualists at heart. They want to stand out, not just with performance numbers, but with identity. Driving a Lucid or a Polestar isn't just about mobility, it's about signaling that you think differently. This emotional trigger is powerful. Research in automotive consumer behavior shows that buyers under 40% are more likely to favor brands that take risks, even if the car isn't perfect. What they value is intent, innovation, purpose. When a car brand shows bravery, it earns attention, and eventually, loyalty. There's also the design factor. These disruptor vehicles aren't afraid to be bold. Angles are sharper, interiors are cleaner, interfaces feel like smartphones rather than dashboards. And this matters because humans process visual identity in milliseconds. The moment you see something unique, like the silhouette of a Polestar or the face of an Ioniq, you remember it. That instant recall builds emotional attachment, which is key to why these models rise so quickly in popularity. But being different only works if it feels genuine. That's the real test. And these 5 models pass it. They don't just change for the sake of headlines. They're built with purpose, crafted for a new kind of enthusiast who wants connection, boldness, and forward motion. So while many cars aim to refine what already exists, these are the ones rewriting the script. They're not for everyone. But for those who see cars as more than machines, for those who want their vehicle to reflect who they are and where they're going, these disruptors speak louder than any engine ever could. The future isn't coming, it's already here, and it's moving fast. Every generation of cars tells a story, not just about machines, but about the people who drive them. The models leading the way in 2025 and 2026 aren't just engineering upgrades or visual facelifts. They reflect a deeper transformation in how we experience motion, emotion, and identity. They speak to a world that demands more intelligence, more connection, more meaning behind every mile. Look closely at what's happening across the industry. The cars we've explored, from the redefined legends to the fearless disruptors, aren't created for the sake of change. They're designed to resonate with a new kind of driver. A driver who doesn't just crave performance but connection. Someone who doesn't just want power but purpose. There's a psychological truth behind this shift. As human beings, we don't just interact with cars, we form emotional relationships with them. Studies in consumer behavior show that drivers often describe their cars in human terms: comfortable, aggressive, reliable, even loyal. That emotional language matters. It tells us that cars have crossed the line from tools to companions, and that's exactly what modern car makers are building toward. Each of the top cars of 2025 to 2026 offers more than transportation. They offer experience, the feeling when your seat hugs you just right, the way your dashboard reacts like a living system, the confidence of knowing your car understands your patterns, predicts your habits, and protects you when you don't even notice. These are no longer fantasy features, they're expectations. Technology has become the bridge between performance and personality. But it's not about adding screens or sensors for the sake of complexity. It's about removing friction. When a voice assistant works flawlessly, it gives you control without distraction. When a suspension system adjusts automatically to road conditions, it gives you freedom without compromise. When a hybrid powertrain balances efficiency and thrill, it gives you the best of both worlds without asking you to choose. But the future of driving isn't only about what's under the hood or behind the touchscreen. It's also about identity. A car is one of the most personal objects people own, and in a world where self-expression is more important than ever, your car says something about you before you even speak. That's why the emotional design of cars is becoming as important as performance figures. Bold lines, distinctive lights, unique silhouettes. These aren't just aesthetic choices. They're signals. A Mustang still shouts confidence. A Polestar whispers intelligence. A Lucid Gravity radiates calm dominance. These visual identities shape how we feel behind the wheel and how others perceive us. Social psychology reinforces this point. According to multiple studies, people make assumptions about drivers based on the cars they own. Sporty coupes are seen as assertive. Luxury sedans suggest status and control. Eco-friendly models imply mindfulness and future focus. Automakers understand this better than ever, and they're engineering both form and function to tap directly into these psychological cues. But the future also brings something more profound, the idea of trust. As automation increases, as electric drivetrains become standard, and as software begins to play a bigger role than hardware, the driver's trust in the machine becomes the new currency. That's why reliability, predictability, and emotional transparency are at the center of car development now. Whether it's the way an EV communicates its range and energy use, or the way adaptive cruise control learns your habits, every interaction must feel honest. Drivers need to believe their car is on their side, not just a system to be used, but a partner to rely on. At the same time, the relationship between driver and car is becoming more personalized. Machine learning algorithms are beginning to understand not just driving behavior, but mood, routine, and even stress levels. Cars will soon know when you're tired, when you're rushed, or when you're ready for something exhilarating. And they'll respond, not mechanically, but emotionally. A calming light, a softened suspension, a switch to sport mode when the road opens up. These aren't just features, they're forms of empathy, designed into steel and code. And yet, for all this technology, what remains untouched is the raw thrill of motion, the feeling of acceleration pressing you into the seat, the balance of a well-tuned chassis through a winding road, the quiet satisfaction of knowing you're driving something that fits your style perfectly. No amount of automation or software will ever fully replace that instinctual connection between human and machine. That's why the future of driving isn't cold or robotic, it's more human than ever. The cars of 2025 and 2026 are proof. They honor the past while reaching boldly into tomorrow. Mercedes and BMW evolve their legends without losing their soul. Ford and Mazda refine passion into new forms. Toyota finds boldness in hybrid power. Meanwhile, brands like Lucid, Polestar, and Hyundai reshape the language of design and redefine what a car even means. This moment in automotive history is not just about tech upgrades. It's a psychological and cultural turning point. The line between utility and identity, between engineering and emotion, has never been thinner. And for car lovers, that's a beautiful thing. Because driving has always been more than going from point A to point B. It's about what happens in between, the freedom, the control, the small, unforgettable moments when the world blurs past the window, and all that matters is the sound of the road and the pulse of your machine. That's what these cars deliver, not just data or design or performance, but presence, a sense of being alive behind the wheel. The road ahead will keep changing, but one truth stays the same. The love for driving will never fade. As long as cars like these continue to exist, there will always be a heartbeat in every engine and a story in every journey. And that's why the cars of 2025 to 2026 aren't just machines, they are memories waiting to be made.